Most people think they know owls. They hoot, they're wise, they turn their heads around. But almost everything we think we know about owls turns out to be incomplete. Some owls don't hoot at all. Their eyes aren't really eyeballs. And the thing that makes them extraordinary isn't wisdom, it's perception. Let's start with their eyes. They're not spherical. They do not move up and down and left and right. Owls have tube-shaped eyes, and they're fixed because they're embedded in their skull. What is fascinating is they have a neck rotation that is 270 degrees. This more than compensates for immobile eyes. Owl ears are asymmetrical, meaning one ear is typically higher and angled differently than the other ear. Why does this almost make them magical? This offset lets the owl have what others have called 3D hearing. They can pinpoint exactly the height, distance, and direction of leaves rustling or squeaking mice in total darkness. Another surprise for me is that owls have almost no sense of smell. This became an evolutionary trade-off because they don't need to smell when they rely entirely on their vision and hearing superpowers to locate prey. This is basically terrible for one of the owl's favorite prey, which are skunks. Their spray has no effect on owls. Frankly, I've wondered most of my life why they are unlike other birds whose flapping is noisy. Owls have specially designed wing feathers. They're serrated, which means there's no air flapping noise. We could call them silent assassins. No one sees or hears them coming. Prey never know what's hit them until it's too late. Now, this just blew me away, pun intended. Not all owls hoot. When you've had the privilege of hearing an owl hoot, it's not just any owl. It's really basically only the great horned owl. For example, the barn owl has a screaming screech which will shake anybody up at a campfire. If that doesn't scare you, I learned there's a saw-whet owl. That's SAW-WHET owl, who sounds exactly like a whetstone sharpening a saw. Should have been in one of the Halloween movies. As an aside, owls are not the kissing cousin type of family. Owls hunt other owls. The smaller barred owl might have developed that terrifying scream because the larger great horned owl is its top predator. Go figure. It's a good thing we are not smaller owls or mice, because even the smaller barn owl, who doesn't chew its food, swallows prey whole and can eat up to 1,000 mice a year. If you live in the country or are a farmer, they are a welcome protector. Children and greeting cards associate the barn owl with a protector because of their heart-shaped faces. One last interesting and troubling fact about an owl's worst enemy is humans. We destroy their habitats daily. We hit them with cars, and we poison them by using rodenticides. They're all in danger globally. Okay, can't stop talking about the rumors that any owl can pick up a 20-pound dog or baby. No, they can't. They typically can only lift 2/3 of their own body weight. The largest owls only weigh 3 to 8 pounds, so if you're 4 to 6 pounds, you're in trouble. But seriously, these guys can dive bomb, scratch, and use very sharp talons on anyone threatening their nest or territory. Back in the day, and I'm talking about ancient and Eastern cultures, the owl was sacred to Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom. Owls represented strategy, intellect, and foresight. In Japan, owls represented good fortune and protection. Indigenous cultures considered owls as guardians and messengers. Today, in modern culture, Owls are symbolic of intuition and perception. The owl remains a timeless symbol of knowledge and perception. As a nocturnal creature, it navigates darkness with confidence, reminding us that not every path in life is illuminated. Sometimes we must move forward, trusting our instincts and inner wisdom rather than relying solely on what we can clearly see. Owls thrive in the dark, use heightened sense and silent flight to navigate the unseen. These traits align with inner knowing and trusting one's gut. When we think of owls and how we can identify with them, we need only think of times when we were in the dark circumstances and had to rely on trusting our inner voice even when the logical path wasn't clear. Owls filter out distractions and easily spot deception because of their forward-facing eyes and sharp hearing. They serve as a reminder to use our intuitive ability to look past surface-level appearances to uncover the truth in a situation. Like the owl, we often benefit from stepping back from distractions and listening more carefully. In a world full of noise, the ability to focus deeply, observe patiently, and think before acting may be one of the greatest forms of wisdom. Owls are quiet, patient listeners. Their presence is a reminder to step back from impulsive actions and reflect on people and situations quietly for intuitive answers to come forward. Owls see in the dark, and this symbolizes the ability to perceive truth beyond illusion. Another reminder that wisdom and truth often come from looking deeper and seeing what others cannot. When you see or hear an owl, it is widely interpreted as a spiritual message to you to trust your discernment, to pay attention to hidden truths, and prepare for a personal transformation. Again, as creatures of the night, they become our guides through life's uncertain or dark phases. They remind you to see things as they truly are. Historically and spiritually, owls are tied to transitions and transformations. When you see or hear one, they could be indicating a current phase or condition in your life is ending and a new beginning is taking place. Because owls primarily behave on instinct, if you hear them hooting, they're establishing territory or calling to a mate. Although in Harry Potter the owls were literally messengers delivering mail, owls cannot be trained to do this. They have no natural homing ability like carrier pigeons, and no, they cannot locate recipients of messages anywhere in the world. Owls are everywhere but Antarctica. What a surprise. But they live almost everywhere else, including dense forests, tundra, deserts, grasslands, and even in cities. You won't be impressed on National Geographic with their nest building because they don't build their own nests. They like ready-made spaces and tree cavities, abandoned nests from hawks and squirrels. Plus, they will move into a sheltered barn or a man-made box. Some like silos, and maybe your attic. This brings up another character trait. They are extremely adaptable. Where are they found in daylight? They love dense foliage like evergreen trees or dark secluded crevices to sleep undisturbed until dusk. These birds are so intelligent they can remember you through your facial features, the sound of your voice, and your good or bad behaviors. They can discern whether you are a threat or not, and most of the time you'll be regarded as a threat. Handling them could tear their feathers, and their talons and beak can tear you. Don't mess with an owl. They remember you trying to ban them or harassing their nest, and their memory, well, it's for years. If you ever negatively impacted an owl, they may dive bomb you no matter how long ago it happened. People wonder if owls are sacred. Well, on my podcast they are. And the Australian Aborigines believe owls are the spirits of sacred women. Some North American Indians believe owls are the souls of people, and no harm should ever come to them. They feel that killing an owl could cause the death of the person whose soul they are carrying. Interesting also is that barn owls are considered one of nature's monogamous species. Unlike many species who mate for a season, a single season, and then ghost their mate, barn owls create strong, lasting bonds they love. As a child living in Charlotte, North Carolina, I could hear a train from miles away cut through the late night hours. I wondered where it was going, who was on board, and without fail, I'd hear an owl at least once a week at the same time. The time of night didn't matter. I would get out of bed and stand on a chair to look out the window, hoping I would see the owl take flight. Even back then, I knew a flashlight could possibly hurt its vision. My logic was after I had a bright light flashed in my eyes, I couldn't see anything but spots for a minute or two. Now I have decades later the association of a train whistle and an owl. I believed in something I never saw to be nearby and found its ability to remain hidden but near, comforting and magical. The owl caused such mystery that I'd look for it during the day. My mother brought me books like The Owl and the Pussycat, one of my favorites. I never thought for a moment any of my cats would hurt an owl because of that. The beloved poem of the owl and the pussycat sailing around the world together, traveling and being truly a loving pair, had me imagining they took a train when they got to the jungles. This is but one example of how loving cats and being enthralled with an owl inspired me to use my imagination and develop a lifelong habit of cherishing animals, books, and writing myself. Many philosophers and writers have observed that uncertainty gives life much of its meaning. If every step of our journey were visible in advance, there would be little room for discovery, growth, or courage. The owl reminds us that we can move through the unknown without having all the answers. Did you ever hear an owl and never see it? Did one ever appear and surprise you? Did they trigger fear or fascination in you? Maybe the owl's gift isn't wisdom at all. Maybe its gift is attention, the ability to sit quietly, to listen carefully, to see what others overlook or cannot see at all. And maybe you can discover, like I did, they had been with us all along, enhancing our insight, reminding us we can get through dark times by trusting our intuition. And maybe, just maybe, they bring you a special message that we can be like them and literally choose to hear the world differently. Sometimes wisdom isn't saying more. Sometimes it's learning to listen differently. Join me next week as we explore the deer, one of nature's most powerful symbols of gentleness, awareness, and quiet resilience. We'll discover how their keen intuition and natural behavior can teach us valuable lessons about grace, sensitivity, and inner strength. Thank you for listening. I'm Carol Butler. Please follow and share with others who want to experience the lessons animals so easily share with us if we just listen. Listen, reflect, connect.